Hi everyone, and thanks for coming to today's meeting. Uh, my name is Martin Boyd. Just a bit about myself. I'm an avid fisherman, and my friend called me 007 because I get 0 bites, 0 fish in 7 hours. But let me assure you, I'm a much better business analyst than I am a fisherman. So why are we here today? We're here to talk about two-factor authentication. So what is two-factor authentication? Well, it's an extra layer of security, right? So we just don't rely on username and password in case it's compromised. It's a secondary means of identification. So we just don't rely on username and password alone. Why do we need two-factor authentication? Well, like I said, it increases our security footprints, but more so, we have a new federal legislation that mandate that two-factor authentication must be used to secure customers' account that contains sensitive personal, financial, and medical details. Right? And we only have 8 weeks to implement that. So how are we going to fit into that tight schedule? Well, we need a plan. We need a roadmap as such, like this, of where we are, our current speed bumps, or where we're going to implement two-factor authentication, the potential roadblocks, some alternative solution, and finally our final proposed solution. So where are we? So we need to understand our current processes before we can make changes to implement two-factor authentication. So to do that, we need to review our existing documentations, our FAQs, and we need to do stakeholders interview to develop our current state process map to confirm our understanding. So this is our current state process map. Notice we only require username and password in order to log in. And to reset your password, we only need 3 secret questions and date of birth. And the fraud reporting is triggered by the customer contacting our customer care team. So what's our current speed bump? What's our current concern or pain points? Well, we don't have two-factor authentication, and we don't have real-time fraud monitoring reporting. And that's a serious risk security flaw right there, right? So why is that a major concern? Well, if you look at the graph here, in the US it cost them $7.91 million just for 1 year, 2018, and in Australia it's $2.53 million, right, cost to company, right? That's a huge amount of money. And we know that when there's a rise in data breaches, there's an increase in identity crime, right? So from the graph here, you can see 2017 to 2019, it more than doubled to $3.5 million and over 450,000 cases reported in identity theft. Okay, so where are we going? So how are we going to implement two-factor authentication? Well, before we can do that, we need to have stakeholder interview, second round stakeholder interview in order to work out the requirement documents, which are pieces of work, right? And then we need to produce our future state process map, right? Our proposed solution. And we need to write user stories and user story map, all right? Which is useful to illustrate the user journey, because our solution needs to satisfy our users. So this is our requirement document. Notice the MASCAL rating, which stands for must, should, and could. Now for this 8-week deadline, we need a minimum viable product, right? What we need to deliver to remain compliant with the new legislation, right? So that is all the requirement that has a rating of must, like these, we need to deliver. Right? So this is our future state, our proposed future state process map. This is our proposed solution. And you can see we use the verification link. Right? We send the verification link in the email. Right? And we have two-factor authentication, right, in order to log in. This is the user story, and it's useful because it illustrates the requirement from the perspective of our stakeholders, such as the security manager, our head of customer experience, right, CRM product owner, and this is our user story map, sorry. And it breaks down the requirement into 3 levels. From this is called the epic, the highest level, then the activities that the user perform, and these are the user story, which is the user story that we define, right, from the stakeholders' point of view. And these are chunks which we group for our release. So this is for our minimum viable product, a release to remain compliant, and these could be our future release here. Now, what's our potential roadblock in delivering two-factor authentication in a tight deadline? Well, we have a tight deadline, right there. And we need the customer acceptance of our solution because there's an extra step they have to perform in order to log in, right? And we know that customer experience is critical, right? 87% critical, right? So what's our proposed solution? Well, we can reuse our existing password reset and email system to send a verification link in the welcome email when they sign up for their account. We make that link expire in 24 hours and we make our customer re-authenticate every 12 hours. That's pretty secure. Right. However, there's been a recent security incident at one of our major email providers, the UP Email, where thousands of customer accounts were used in two-factor authentication to access their account. That's a major security incident. So we are pivoting away from using email for verification to using SMS, right? Which is using our existing SMS system, and we issue a 6-digit one-time PIN with a 3-minute expiry, which is a lot more secure than sending out email verification, right? And because we pivoted away from our old solution using email to a new solution using SMS, we need to update our artifacts, right? So you can see this is our requirement document, right? Notice I've struck through the old requirement and added the new requirement for our new solution, right? We don't delete, just for tracking historical reasons. Same as a user story, we strike out the old user story, add in the new one. This is our final proposed solution. So this is our final future state process map. Notice we have SMS now. Right? We send SMS. We still send the welcome email, but we send SMS, OTP, one-time PIN now. Right? The password reset and the fraud reporting remain the same. The user story map has been updated to include the SMS now. So, two-factor authentication is security, increasing our security, and security is equal to trust, right? Which builds reputation, which drives businesses. Now, reputation, right, spread as we know through word of mouth, right? Customers trust word of mouth, 92% in fact. So that's critical, right? So security is critical, right? And our solution increases our security footprint, SMS more so than email. And we use SMS, our customer will readily accept it because it's a common technology. Everybody knows how to use SMS, right? And finally, security is everything for business survival, right? And even a large corporation like Sony can be a victim of data breaches costing them $3.1 billion. So this project is critical and I appreciate your support in delivering this project in a tight deadline. Thank you. Any question, you can contact me at my email address.